All right. Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while. But
Every now and then we'll kind
he was already right away.
It's kind of what we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks from around the way, everyone across the pond. Okay, I probably shouldn't say across the pond right now. It's probably a bad timing. Oh my God. Okay, everybody, welcome to Open Book. It has been a very miserable week because the Packers got the shit smacked out of them in a very embarrassing fashion, and they're probably going to lose every game for the rest of the year. But that's okay because we're still going to do this show. It's not going to stop us.
That's a bold assumption.
And
No,
you
it's gonna
said we
happen.
looked depressed coming in here, and then you come in with that as the intro.
Hey, I got a fucking smile on my face. Okay, you can't tell me anything. Okay, how are you guys doing?
Could have been a better week in Minnesota.
All right, it's fine. No, I'll go fuck myself.
I've got
Especially considering it was all bad because I went to the Badger game Saturday, so I watched them.
Oh, you got a double whammy.
So yeah,
Oh,
I got to watch them lose in person, and then as the night went on, I was like, you know what? No, it's gonna be fine, man. We got the Packers tomorrow, and of course, I just shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, because they lost.
Yeah.
Jen, how are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, could have been a better week here in Minnesota. That's for sure. I don't think my coworkers have ever looked happier to see me than they were on Monday. And that's because I work with a lot of coworkers who were my teachers. So they've known me for like 10 years. So they wait for these moments to be able to just, give me shit. And they got it. So I went, I took my medicine. I walked up to them. And, that was that. But hopefully next week is better.
This is why you never talk shit before week 1 because
I really didn't talk too much shit.
Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for even a second. I know you're like the primary shit talker when it comes to shit talking. You were like you're like number one.
I'm the number one shit talker. I mean, it's fun, but you also have to be able to take your medicine after. So if you're gonna shit talk, you have to be able to handle the consequences, and it is what it is. Hopefully January 2nd, I get to go in and give it back. That's the hope.
Well, you guys both at least won your fantasy matchups in the Open Book League, right?
Yes, I beat Lambeau LeBeau.
Oh, Andrew, you didn't win?
No.
But I got a loss. Like I still don't understand this point thing, so I'm like 1-1.
Yeah,
I think I was still like the bottom half of like.
Yeah, you were basically bottom 5, like
which
myself.
was dumb because I was 5 by
the only
like 2
person
points.
who showed up. The only people who showed up, which is funny because one of them threw 4 interceptions, but Joe Burrow and Jonathan Taylor were the only 2 guys who did anything on my team.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I mean, it's more than I can say because my team pretty much shit themselves. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah.
88
Wait,
points, I think it was.
Wait, did Chris lose too?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I just know the people who talked the most shit going into the week ended up losing. Like Ben, for example, one of them. That's all I know.
I think I beat him by 10. So at least I had one. I think I went 3 for 5 in fantasy, and that's really all I had going for me this weekend.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I won in my 2 other leagues, so that's what
I'm
what
sure.
matters. Yeah. No, I actually did. I can screenshot you. Unlike you, I can actually provide evidence that I did these things. So
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What evidence am I not? What evidence am I not providing for you?
It doesn't
That I
matter,
took my
okay?
medicine at work
That's neither
and-
here. No, that's neither here nor there. Okay, that's not the point. Okay, the point is.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez.
The point is that we have a football game to discuss, and I no longer want to talk about fantasy because I'm 0-2 in the Open Book League. So, so we're not going to go down that road. No, Andy, this isn't the one that matters, okay? And also, Sam, hello. I think Sam won, so I can't say anything to him. We have a football game to discuss. There was a football game played on Sunday at US Bank Stadium. That
Was
place
there?
that place that kills birds.
Yeah,
Um,
and people.
what?
Someone died building it.
Are you serious? Holy shit!
Yeah.
I didn't know that. God damn. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jen. All right. So, what were your guys' primary takeaways from that loss? I know you can say shit like, "Oh, it was just week one, and it's a long season ahead, and this and that," but let's say it wasn't a long season, and let's say this wasn't week one. The Packers went into Minnesota and they
Let's
played.
say it's a 1 week season, and
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, let's, for example, it was last year. They went into Minnesota on November 21st and they lost. The Vikings
Yeah,
had
they
their way
looked
with
like
them.
shit that game too.
Yeah, they looked like shit on that game too. Exactly. So we need to take into account the fact that the Packers went into Minnesota. They played a very good football team. Like, the Vikings are like, that's their competition in the NFC North. The Bears aren't going to be anything. The Bears aren't going to do shit. The Lions aren't going to do shit, even though I want them to do shit. I want them to be good. They're just like a really likable football team. But how do you guys feel overall just coming out of this game, and based off of everything you saw, just what are your feelings right now? You know, it's Wednesday. So it's been a few days for you to kind of process and digest what happened.
I mean, I feel like one of the two people he needed to stop didn't get stopped, and that's pretty frustrating because he was open all game by a mile. But I mean, obviously that being Justin Jefferson. So I don't know. That kind of seemed like one of the, like, I'm not a defensive coordinator. I don't know how to set up the schemes, but it just kind of seemed like, for how good that defensive back room is supposed to be, it was really frustrating to see Jefferson open so much and basically making Kirk Cousins look like that stupid MVP quarterback that they've been talking about all offseason. So that's just one of the takeaways. Obviously Jefferson is really good, but I thought there was going to be more 50-50. I thought he was going to win some, we were going to win some, but he basically won all of them. And that can't happen, especially, I know there's kinks that need to be worked out, but there's going to be a lot of really good wide receivers that this team faces, and they face him twice a year. So they obviously have a lot of work to do there, figure it out, but that can't happen. You got to make adjustments too. The fact that there were no adjustments made to try and stop him kind of just, drives the stake in even farther.
Yeah, pretty much what Jen said. I mean, they didn't change what they were doing even after that first half where Jefferson, again, was open by a mile. I thought the front eight of the defense played fairly well. I mean, what I saw, Kirk Cousins was pressured on more than 30% of his dropbacks, and yet he was still getting the ball out because Jefferson was open so goddamn much, but also other guys were getting involved still. So it was just frustrating because it was not a good day from Amos or Savage or Stokes, or I guess you can't even really say any of the corners played that great. I mean, because it seemed like everyone was nowhere to be found when Kirk was throwing the ball. So something needed to change, and it did not on the defensive end. Again, I thought the front eight played great. I loved the way Quay Walker was flying around everywhere. That was awesome to see. Offensively, obviously, that offensive line was not great, not great. And yet again, we learned pretty quickly that someone like Jake Hansen doesn't belong out there, because when they had to throw Zach Tomlin, I thought he looked pretty damn good. And then I was kind of sitting there like, well, then what the hell was Jake Hansen doing on the right side the whole game?
Being a saloon door.
Yeah, exactly. So I know you want us to stray away from talking about, it's week one, but that's honestly the only silver lining we have here is, yes, it was not a great game, but I thought last year's week one was inherently worse against a much worse team because of how much, I want to get so mad about this game. Look, the Vikings have been the team the last few years who do have our number, at least, for one game a year. And you know what, of how much they hate it, we got to deal with it. This could be the year that they could finally be good, where their record kind of more accurately depicts the talent they have. So,
well, yeah, I mean, they've got new personnel too. Zimmer's out of there, so the tone could just be completely different with Kevin O'Connell in there, somebody who's more offensive mindset. Again, like even Vikings fans that I've been talking to all week, they're like, well, we're not going to get too excited yet because it's just week 1. So even though they won, they also know it's just week 1. And we're going to kind of find out more about both these teams later on. But, I feel like, honestly, this was the Vikings game to lose because they've just had so many, they've worked out so many things in the offseason. They're at home. I was pretty pissed when, obviously seeing Za'Darius get to the quarterback, which sucks because of all the shit talking that had been happening. There's just a lot for that. I feel like it was just, they were supposed to win that game. I was just hoping, because I did pick the Packers to lose this game, but I didn't think it would look like that. I thought it'd be a more competitive loss. And I think that's the most frustrating part, is that it wasn't a respectable loss. It was just garbage, basically on all cylinders.
Yeah, I mean, you need to kind of just tip your hat at what the Vikings did. I mean, they exploited everything the Packers were showing them, and they got Justin Jefferson into so many different positions to be successful. I mean, they were motioning him all over to the point where he was matched up against Devondre Campbell. He was matched up against Adrian Amos at one point. He was matched up against Preston Smith. And
Don't remind me. I was almost ready to rip the TV off the wall.
Only week 1, and we're already seeing that. So
normally when things like that happen, like the defense, like they communicate to each other and they get out of whatever they're playing, and they kind of, they swap things around to kind of better combat that. But the Packers didn't do that. And I know this is just week 1, and it's still kind of like there are a lot of new pieces, a lot of kind of moving parts right now, and the defense is still trying to get on the same page with each other communication wise. So I'm not like too hung up over that. It's still just, it makes for a good screenshot, I'll tell you that. But
the PTSD.
Yeah. I mean, everything they did was just, it was good. Justin Jefferson was, what's that noise?
Is that your cats, Jen?
It sounds like a cat.
Yeah. I was really hoping no one would hear it, and you're just gonna fade out. No, that's Loki. He just being annoying. I'll just mute my mic when
We'll tell Loki to shut up.
Do you hear him scratching my door?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, man,
he's a psychopath. Sorry, ignore him. I hang out with him all day, but whatever.
Doing his best Eric Andre impression.
Let me in. Let me in.
Yeah. Sure.
You've never seen that video? God, Jen, do you live under a rock?
Oh, no.
If you mention a video, there's a 99% chance that I have not seen it.
Jen, I promise you, if you watch that show, like, your life will be better.
It's from a show.
The Eric Andre show, yeah.
Show,
But it's a very
hilarious.
They just said you hear Janelle's cats here.
They know. They've had to deal with it. I'm just gonna mute my mic. Zach,
does he want to like hop on the show?
Yeah, because do you see the poster behind me that's on the ground here? He knocked that over like the one time I let him in, so they're not.
He's fighting the establishment. Let him do what he has to do.
I work hard to get all this stuff up on my wall, so.
Oh God. Okay, I don't
even. Just please.
Loki just kind of like fucked everything up. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I
mean, at least brighten the mood. Whatever.
No, I did. Yeah. We don't have to talk about depressing, losses anymore.
He got upset hearing that Preston Smith was lined up against Justin Jefferson, and he just lost it.
Yeah. That's what that was. See, you got people begging for Loki. I don't know why you just give them what they want.
Because they destroy everything that I own in here.
So be it.
Take one for the team.
It's my stuff. Of course you don't care.
It's my stuff. Sorry. Yeah, okay. But as far as like Justin Jefferson goes,
thanks, Chris.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do against a player like that and a talent like that. And the Vikings, they obviously took advantage of the matchups that they were given. It was, like you said, Andrew, it wasn't a matter of like the pass rush. Like they were getting home. Kenny Clark was getting home. Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, like they were bringing the pressure and they were bringing the rush. But normally when that happens, your secondary plays significantly better. Like those things kind of like work in tandem with each other. And this was like one of those rare anomaly instances where Kirk Cousins just hung in there. He stepped up in the pocket. He hung in there and delivered the ball downfield. And he, like I said, you just got to tip your cap to things like that sometimes. Like he looked good. And trust me, Kirk Cousins is like my 1B most hated person. Like 1A is Russell Wilson, 2 is Kirk Cousins. But you got to acknowledge when he tears your shit up, and that's what he did against the Packers. And you just kind of just gotta nod your head, okay. And I don't view this week. I'm shifting gears a little bit into the Bears, but I don't view this week as some kind of get right game or like a tune up game for the Packers. They looked like shit in week 1, okay, and the Bears, regardless of the environment that they were playing in, they won. They beat the team that beat the Packers in January. They won, and now they're coming into Lambeau, obviously a hostile environment, but this is a new regime. This is a different team, and I feel like it could be a team that potentially gives the Packers problems if they don't sort their issues out up front. They have a really, really promising young defensive end in Dominique Robertson who made some noise in week 1. And, I think they could be a little bit of a bigger problem than people realize, So what are your guys' feelings kind of going into this game? What to expect? Do you think this is going to be like, oh, pissed off Aaron Rodgers, here comes the Bears. He's going to throw 4 touchdowns. He's pissed off at the world. Or do you think this is going to be like a pretty close game?
I would love it to be that. I don't know if it'll be that. It is hard to try and gauge it because, you want to look at what the Bears did last week, but then, obviously you have to take into account the fucking swimming pool they were playing in, at least a little bit. But I agree, it's not like, this is just going to be, okay, we're going to come in and beat the Bears like we do every week. Because, they, like you said, they beat the team that beat us in January. They beat a 49ers team that was, despite whoever was playing quarterback, was supposed to be good, and that game overall was obviously a dogfight that was, basically a battle of the defenses. And I think that's what this next week is going to be, unfortunately. But I think the big thing for the Packers is they've got to try and get, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones touches. Again, I know they definitely tried. I think they made an effort last week, but maybe not as well as they should have, or, but that's obviously besides the point now. But I think what you said, though, it's not.
That was really quick.
That was great.
Oh my! I need to close the comments because it's literally just meowing. No, I kind of agree. Like, as much as I want this to be like a come in and stomp out the demons from week 1, it could go either way because obviously Bears are coming off of a win, but you get a Sunday night game at Lambeau, so I think that there's a lot of different factors that can go into it, and hopefully this team goes in there pissed off about the Vikings week and they don't allow that to happen 2 weeks in a row. But you still have to go in and play your game, and that just means playing your position, making the stops, being where you're supposed to be. And I think the Vikings are a better team than the Bears, so there shouldn't be a reason why the Packers lose this game, but we'll kind of see. There's a lot of guys who are banged up. Injuries could play a factor in it. I think that Aaron Rodgers needing to connect with his receivers is just as important this week as it was last week. Obviously, we saw attempts. If Watson doesn't drop that one, what kind of game is it? I even had Vikings fans kind of saying that. They're like, hey, if he would have caught that, who knows what kind of game we would have had. So I think also just being able to come back, I think they needed to work on their mental game too. When you get down against a Vikings team like that, it just kind of seemed like there was no pick-me-up. So I think it's important to go into this Bears game high, stay high the whole time, and don't let those emotions get the best of you if things are going wrong. And I think that's important, especially with such a young receiving core. And, Lazard practiced today, but we don't really know what condition he'll be in. Obviously, it was nice to see Tunyon getting some reps back in. But, yeah, I think we were also high on this defense that was kind of the more disappointing aspect, but there was still offense not doing enough. 7 points, 1 A.J. Dillon touchdown. It just doesn't seem like enough from, what we kind of hope from this offense. But I think that this could be a game that maybe they can pick on that Bears secondary and, try and work on the passing game. And if Rodgers gets the opportunities to just let the ball go. And I know that it was really tough against the Vikings with the pocket collapsing and just, offensive line not being what he's used to. But if he can find a way to get open and just see down the field, if those guys can get open. And I think they also, routes were kind of wonky against the Vikings. There was just kind of a lot of stuff happening. So I think, clean routes and Rodgers' vision down the field, he just needs to trust them. And this could be one of those games where he just, lets it go. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to rely on too. Guys.
Hey, in my defense, I waited till you were done talking to throw that up.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
No,
go
Andrew, please.
Yeah, okay,
please.
just to go off
Andrew,
what
please
Jen
go.
said
Andrew, please.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of going off what you
Andrew,
said.
go,
just
please.
Letting it go. like Zach said, just go. It seemed that the receivers were getting open. Like there was times where they were getting open, but it was a mixture of whether it's Aaron not seeing them, and I'm sure a big part of that was the offensive line, especially on that right side, was just god awful. So obviously they got to figure something out about that, throughout this week about what they're going to do. I know John Runyon didn't practice again today since he's still in concussion protocol, so that'll really suck. But who the hell knows where Elton or Bakhtiari are? I know I saw they practiced today, but that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Just individuals, yeah.
The receivers seemed to be getting open. It was just a matter of, like Aaron getting them the ball. So I'm not too concerned about the receivers. And I'm not entirely worried about the defense that much. The defense gave up big plays against the Vikings. And there was definitely times where it seemed they had no answer for the Vikings, but they were still getting stops. And at the end of the day, they only gave up 23 points, which again, granted, near the end, the Vikings were going to run the clock out. They were up by, more than 2 scores. So, but again, they only gave up 23 points. And the Packers had the Packers scored, on that goal line stand, it would have been an entirely different complex of the game. It would have been completely different.
There were a lot of
I was fine with the defense outside of the secondary. Just did not look good. And I think that was just a historically bad day for the safeties primarily. They had some of their lowest graded days ever or whatever. If you believe in PFF, I tend to definitely take a look at some of that stuff and at least take some of it for truth. But so I guess that's my little 2 cents coming into this week.
I'm glad you mentioned the receivers because I've been tweeting about this a lot. Those guys were getting open. Christian Watson was open. Romeo Doubs was open. Sammy Watkins was getting open. I think as the game went on, Aaron Rodgers kind of started to get a little rattled. The whole thing with this offense is like everything starts up front, whether it's the running game or the passing game, the protection, keeping Aaron Rodgers upright in the pocket because he's more of a pocket passer now. He's not the Aaron Rodgers that'll roll out, hit guys on the run when they work back to the ball, and he'll dice you off platform and stuff. That's not him anymore. He's a pocket passer now. So when he can't hang in there and there is just constant pressure in his face, primarily from Jake Hanson's side, that's going to just cause everything else to fall apart, So I think that was a big thing too, why he didn't see some of these plays. Like if he hung in the pocket just for a little bit longer on some of these plays, like there's so much left on the field. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of the same thing that we saw against the 49ers back in January. I don't want to go back to that, but he was doing some of the same stuff where he kind of just hung in the pocket for just he lost patience. Like he didn't have patience, and I get it's hard to do when the Vikings are just bringing the heat, and your offensive line isn't like a group that's played together, and just a lot of kind of moving pieces there. And I mean, like you mentioned, John Runyon left in the middle of the game with a concussion, and Zach Tom took over, and Jake Hansen was a revolving door at right guard, and Royce Newman doesn't have the right tackle experience. I know they liked him
I
coming
wouldn't
out of
even
training
call
camp.
him a revolving door. I would just call him a doorway that was just open.
It's like you took the
That was
door
awesome.
out and it's just the hole in the wall.
Yeah, okay, all right, that works too. Okay, so he was just a door. He was a door at right guard. That's all he was. So
An open door.
An open door. Jesus Christ! You guys need to make up your mind, okay? You got to figure out what you want Jake Hansen to be, okay? So there were a lot of kind of issues at play, and obviously when you're experiencing that, you can't hang in the pocket. You can't be patient. You have to kind of just make some of these weird throws. Like there was a play where it was a specific play that I tweeted. He didn't wait for the play to develop downfield. Sammy Watkins was coming wide open across the middle, and he decided to hit AJ Dillon in the flat, and it was an incompletion. So, just a lot of plays that were left on the field. I think they'll figure it out. They're going to go back to that during the week, look at it on film, be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is here. That guy's there. He was running wide open here, and I can go here with the ball. Just a lot of things that they're going to go back to. Now, they need the protection to be able to do that. And I don't know if they're going to have David Bakhtiari. I don't know if they'll have Elton Jenkins. I don't even know if they'll have John Runyon. But whatever group they do roll out there, it needs to be significantly better. And it needs to not include Jake Hansen because he gave
Get
up.
out there, Zach. They're running out of people.
Caleb Jones at right tackle.
I'm not that. No, I can't do that. Caleb Jones at right tackle. Okay, yeah. Hey, why not? Then you can kind of kick Royce Newman inside
I
at
was
right
going to
guard.
say, what at this point,
I
I
mean,
feel like that's not the half bad idea.
Just line up Lewis on the line and have him as an extra lineman and call it a day.
They usually do that anyway, and I don't feel like we saw a ton of that. Oh, actually, no, we did. Never mind. Sorry.
And that just kind of made me think of the impact of losing kind of your blocking wide receivers. That also is very obvious in Lazard's absence because I know when they try running blocks with Cobb, he's just not a blocking wide receiver, and it just doesn't work. Like basically every time I see a play like that, it doesn't work out, or it's basically for no gain. And I think even if you can get Lazard back just for his blocking, that could also help open up some receivers for Rodgers, which would be huge.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was probably going to be my next point. Was I think a lot of people weren't talking enough about Allen Lazard not being available last week.
They were talking
for his blocking, but not only that, but like that's yet another receiver that Rodgers trusts. That was another receiver who wasn't there that Rodgers at least knows, that he can rely on him in some of those situations, whether it's those pressure third downs or like that 4th and 1 situation, which don't get me started on that. I don't know why we're going 4 verts there, but so that was just yet another player who Rodgers could have turned to because he trusts, who just wasn't there.
That was the weird thing too. Like the running game was working, whether they had Allen Lazard or not, they were getting what they wanted in the running game. AJ Dillon was running productively. Aaron Jones with his limited touches. I mean, he only finished with eight touches from scrimmage. That was ridiculous, but they were getting everything they wanted in the running game, and the offensive line was actually very impressive in the running game. It was just pass protection. They could not handle what was being thrown at them. I think this coming week is going to be kind of an opportunity to, I don't want to say get right, like I literally just mentioned it, but it's an opportunity for them to kind of establish the ground game, kind of go back to that, kind of force feed Aaron Jones, force feed AJ Dillon, and get back to like their structure of offense where everything kind of stems from the run. I mean, if they're running productively and getting what they want on the ground, then that's just going to make the passing game that much easier. That's been the case in 3 years under Matt LaFleur, so they need to get back to that identity of football. And right now against the Bears, it would be a good opportunity to do it because then you offset this young defensive end and Dominique Robinson that could kind of wreck your passing game. It's hard for him to do that when the play action is working so well. So they need to get back. They need to get back to like what made them who they are. Okay, I'll just go fuck myself.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. I'm responsible for all the transitions apparently. Okay. All right. I get it. I get it now. Okay.
Yeah, I guess we never even really addressed Eli being gone. But
Oh yeah, Eli's not here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Eli's not here. Something came up last second, so he's away being stupid.
I just
letting us down.
Yeah, what else is new? I don't know if you guys saw, but Aaron Rodgers said some things about Amari Rodgers today, or
he
lack
did
thereof.
say something.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say, or lack
yeah.
thereof.
Yeah, but you guys need to give me a second. I'm getting to it. Jeez. Yeah, lack thereof. Yeah. But yeah, he was asked about Amari Rodgers, and his response was, "Here, I'll read the exact quote from Aaron Rodgers that Matt Schneiden tweeted out."
Like the 4 words he said.
Yeah. He was
And it
asked
was-
about Amari Rodgers' fit in the offense, and Aaron Rodgers said, "Yeah, he's returning for us now. That's all I got on it."
I think Matt also
And-
posted the video, and it's a very long,
He-
awkward water drinking pause before he answers.
He did tweet the video, and the video is significantly worse than the actual quote itself. So
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping the video was going to be at least somewhat better, and then I was like, yeah, no, this.
yeah,
is
I thought like it was one of those
it's
one
like
of those
the worst
times where
possible case.
Yeah.
Like
I thought it was one of those times where maybe people took it out of context, or maybe it was phrased in a different way. But
no,
no, it sounds
just as bad
As
as
bad.
it looks.
Sounds what it is.
yeah.
Which that really sucks because that was really someone like when I'm sure all of us when they drafted him, I thought finally a third rounder that's like not gonna that should pan out somewhat, right? Like I
Mhm.
loved him out of college, but he hasn't been translating to what they want to do, I guess. And it was very shocking that he had 0 snaps on the offense. I
Mhm.
mean, for Christ's sake, Jawan Winfrey got in there over him, which I guess that's not a complete shock because I know Rodgers has been really big on him the last couple seasons now about, believing in his ability. But it does suck, obviously, to hear that, considering it's his 3rd year and we're probably going to be seeing more of the same of what we've been seeing the last couple of years. Is we're going to see him in a return role, and
A return role
I
on a
couldn't even
special
sit there and
teams
tell
move.
you that he looked better returning last week because he didn't really do a whole lot. He caught the ball.
That's a
Whoa.
victory.
He caught the ball and he didn't
For
cough it
special
up.
teams.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a positive in one sense, but yeah, it's just, I guess I just gotta say it's just unfortunate that he's not becoming the player that a lot of us had hoped to see by now.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of thought this would be. Sorry, Zach, I knew.
No,
'Cause
no,
you're
no, go
taking
ahead.
like a deep breath to say something.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, it was just kind of, I think a lot of people thought with Lazard being out, this would maybe be a chance for Amari to kind of come in and get some reps, maybe see a couple snaps, and yeah, not even a single chance. So who knows what's happening in those practices where he's not even getting a single opportunity out there. Yeah, I mean, obviously not much to say about it from Aaron Rodgers, but I think it's just kind of interesting because obviously things are happening in practice that we're not hearing about basically until today. So it'll be interesting to kind of see if it's just more of the same against the Bears, if, he'll ever ease into it. But I mean, with Lazard being out, this was kind of a really good opportunity for him. And like you said, Andrew, Winfrey came in and it was cool to see him get some reps and kind of get involved. But yeah, I mean, even when you put Jordan Love in, you couldn't even give him a snap to try and go in there with Jordan Love. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. If there's a lot, I mean, there's obviously a lot we don't know about this team behind the scenes, but that definitely poses a lot of questions going forward.
I always thought like Amari Rodgers could be a useful player on offense. If you just find a way to get the ball in his hands, manufacture touches, use him as a gadget player, do some of the stuff that they were doing with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs against the Vikings. They had a couple end arounds and they got, chunk yardage off of those. Just something to get the ball in Amari Rodgers' hands and get him some confidence, get him going a little bit. But, we haven't seen that yet. And I guess it's hard to do that when maybe you haven't mastered the offense yet. That's the only thing that I could think of where it's like, okay, that's why he's not getting a single snap in the season opener. That's why Aaron Rodgers sounds the way he does about Amari Rodgers, because he doesn't know what his job is. He doesn't know his role in the offense. He doesn't know the playbook. He doesn't know anything. Maybe he's behind the curve. I don't know. Like you said, like, you know, we're not there. We can't tell. But I feel like he was kind of doomed from the start the second they traded for Randall Cobb last July. You know, because then that was like the role Amari Rodgers was supposed to play and kind of grow into and evolve, and he never got the chance really as a rookie because Randall Cobb was there for a chunk. It was
also supposed to be the opportunity for him to learn though from Randall Cobb. It was supposed to be,
that was something everybody talked about.
Here's my buddy who has known me since I was a kid, gonna come in, teach me the roles of the slot and how to be a good wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. And
that was another thing too. Yeah, that was kind of, you know, we read all those fluff pieces about like, oh, Randall Cobb reunited with a kid that, you know, Cobb's coach used to bring to practices at Kentucky and stuff, you know, and they're back together now, and it's like a passing of the torch and this and that. And Amari Rodgers played like 100-something snaps, I think it was, on offense last year. Just very, very just odd, you know. And it's perplexing, but regardless, I mean, there's clearly the 5 guys that they want to roll with, and it's Allen Lazard, it's Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins, Romeo Doubs, and Christian Watson. Those are like the 5 guys that they're going to roll with for the time being and going to continue shuffling in and out of the lineup. Jawan Winfrey every now and then, like you mentioned, Andrew, he played 9 snaps, but, you know, he'll get his opportunities kind of sprinkled in. But, you know, they have their 5 guys set. And, you know, it's also hard for Amari Rodgers when they drafted 3 receivers in April. You know, that's just another 3 bodies added to the mix, and you include the signing of Watkins in April as well. And it's just, you know, it's impossible for him to really crack a role in that room right now outside of being the return man. And even being the return man, he's nothing spectacular, you know? So it's tough for him to kind of really find a spot in this team right now.
Returner.
But even then, it's like, you know, they were experimenting.
I'm wondering, well, what's going to happen when Kylan Hill comes back?
Yeah, he's going to be activated from IR.
That's what I'm starting to wonder now. What are they going to do? Are they going to kick him to the curb or what?
They were even, not against the Vikings, but in the preseason and in training camp, they were rotating Romeo Doubs in as a return man. So, you know, they have guys that they want to get into that role, and Amari Rodgers he's just falling behind the race. So, very odd situation. Let's do score predictions, and let's wrap this one up, get the hell out of here, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad because I watched your show you did on that Bears podcast or whatever, and you picked my score. So I feel like I have to come up with something different because you said it, and I was pissed because I had that in my head all day.
I was on a different Bears thing last night, and I said 27-17.
Well, I haven't listened to that one yet, okay?
Yeah, it's because I'm not shit, and you hate me. So anyways.
You're right. I hate you, but I'm the one who didn't get a shout out when you talked about where to find your work.
Oh, is Open Book the Janelle Mackey show? Is that what it is? You didn't get a shout out. Eli didn't get a shout out. Andrew didn't get a shout out. I didn't even do it. What do you want me to do?
He said, "Screw all of us, Andrew."
That is not what I said. Actually, you're gonna believe her.
Brand.
Oh my god. Oh,
I gotta do some quick math.
Oh, Jesus.
I gotta make sure that I pick a score that adds up.
32 to freaking 1 or something. All right. We'll let Andrew lead the way.
I'll go 23-17 Pack.
Okay. Jen? Oh, are you still doing math? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I almost just said the same one then because I was like, oh, I'll do that one, but that's
God, you're such you just bite off at everyone. Jeez.
I had it in my head. You and I were just in sync with it. So I think I actually should just be allowed to say it, but
you should. Yeah. Go ahead. If you have one in your head, go ahead.
Like, can I take the one that you said earlier, even though
if you want to? Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say 27-17 Packers.
Liar. Okay. Oh, even your cat predicted the same thing.
Look at
that's the 3. That's the 3 of us. The 3 of us. Wow, is Loki meowing?
Yeah, he is. Here, I'll get him. Hold on.
Finally, Loki wants to tell us the score prediction. God, she waits till the end of the show when people are leaving. God, unbelievable.
I did because I didn't want him to ruin everything. There, say hi.
Meow.
And I've got the other one in here too now.
Loki, what's your score prediction?
He said 27-17.
Okay. All right. I'm also going to roll with 27-17. So there you have it. We all have the Packers winning, getting back to 1-1. And that's going to be, what the hell? This is like so oddly timed. It's like, I want to find out. I want to find out who the fuck that is.
I want to know who made that. I want to know who made that.
That is getting kind of weird. Now Thor is going to get jealous because he doesn't have an account, but
You just gave them a new idea.
Yeah, good. Good going, Jen. Let's get the hell out of here before they have the
before my
opportunity.
cats take over.
All right, everybody. That has been this week's episode of Open Book. Thank you for watching this Eli List show. Andrew subbed in for him and filled in rather valiantly, if I do say so myself.
Oh, thank you.
Good job. Yeah, clap. Clap for me, Loki. Clap for me. There you go.
For you.
Everybody, once again,
I would
thank you
give
for
you.
watching.
I can't give like a little middle finger.
Please stop abusing your cats. Oh yeah, it was a baldless show because Eli wasn't here. Very true. All right, thank you for watching, everybody. We will be back next week, same time. You know the drill, and hopefully we'll be talking about a win. Because if not, if the Packers lose to the Bears, this will be the last time you ever see us. Okay, so.
What you think, Fred? All right,
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. It's definitely me and you or Eli and Zach gonna pop in.
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while. But he was already here right away.
It kind of, well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see